The US passport just dropped to 10th place in the global power rankings, tied with, wait for it, Croatia. According to the 2025 Henley Passport Index, Americans can now visit 182 countries without a visa. Now that sounds pretty decent until you realize it is our lowest ranking in over 20 years. At the top, Singapore, with access to 193 countries, followed by Japan, South Korea, and a parade of EU nations. Y'all, we're not even in the same gate group anymore. So why the drop? There's a few reasons. Brazil brought back visa requirements for Americans. India and Australia have tightened their visa entry rules. And some countries are clapping back at us for our own policies, like the new $250 visa integrity fee. Basically, we've made it harder for them, so they're making it harder for us. So let's dig a little deeper. This isn't about airport lines or vacation drama. The power of a passport reflects how much trust and openness your country commands. Right now, ours is under review. More Americans are now facing longer visa processes for countries that used to let us waltz right in. That dreamy last-minute trip to Brazil, now it comes with forms, fees, and probably a headshot. So tell me in the comments, if you could swap passports or have dual citizenship with any country, what would you take?
Wale, I'm looking at this from two angles. One angle is, what's the difference? The number one country has 193, right? And US dropped to 192. So, hey, which countries are the 11 countries? The difference between number one and US has dropped to 10. So, which countries are the 11 countries? How many Americans need to travel to those 11 countries, right? So, that's the way I'm thinking about it from one point of view. Like, big deal, yeah?
Yeah.
But big deal because the US represents world power. The US represents the leaders. The US represents, the top. So if in a ranking of passports, you expect the US to rank at number one. Now, we understand that some of the current policies by the current government might be impacting this, which is evidence even in the countries that were mentioned in that video, Brazil, India. We can see some of the relationships and some of the trade relationship issues that have been happening possibly have contributed to this. Nevertheless, it's the first time American passports have really dropped this low. Just to let you know, the standard is high. So that's why I said I'm talking about it from 2 points. From one point of Nigerian passport, then I'm talking about it from the fact that when you're at the top, you got to try to maintain to be at the top. So for the US passport to really drop this 10th is really bad.
Yeah, okay. Actually, for me, like when I watched the video, I went and I Googled search and I actually found that Croatia is actually ranked higher. US is ranked 10th. Croatia is ranked 9th with access to 183. So I'm not sure why that's a big deal, but again, Croatia is a very small country compared to like the US, but still like they have access to a lot of other countries. So I was kind of also curious about what US ranked last year. Let me see if I can quickly share that with you. This Henley and Partners, they do create this kind of rankings, and this is where the US is. But for last year, 2024, there were so many number one, so there were so many countries that were tied, but the US was ranked
Yes, it was 7th. Oh, I see.
We had access to 188 countries. Now we have access to just 183 countries. My concern is that number is probably dropped. The way all the trade deals are going, some trade negotiations are just not going well. I think I agree with you. Also, I didn't even see this video, but I started hearing about higher tariffs on a country like India, and the president mentioned the fact that India buys its oil from Russia, but I think that is just a reason to justify the tariff. But I think it's more like other things that are going on in the background that were not really going well between both countries. And from what I know, India is like a very proud nation. Like, it's going to be a very, very tough trade negotiations with a country like India. Of course, China is still ongoing. Well, hopefully, I think all of this is resolved soon. But I think the US right now, they definitely have become very tough on immigration. And every other nation also has the right to enforce their own border, enforce their own policy. Just because the US is the most powerful country in the world unfortunately, a lot of restrictions is going to arise just because of all these trade tensions. So, but another big challenge that I also saw as an aftermath of this is I saw that even less people are coming to the US now. So even if the US is trying to, have a good relationship with some countries, a lot of citizens of other countries are not thinking about vacationing in the US. So even the money that is going to be coming from tourism, that is definitely going to reduce. Although the US is making money from tariffs, there some things looks like it's going to balance it out, but we'll see how that goes. But so far so good. Again, personally, I'm not surprised, but it is what it is.
I agree with you. It's not surprising given, like we said, what's been happening. Hopefully as time progresses, the US would move up the ranking as expected.
Yeah. All right, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation today. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're looking forward to your comments about this issue. If you travel a lot, how do you think it's going to affect you? If you don't travel a lot, still probably, doesn't really affect you that much, but still, leave your comments about how you feel about the US passport ranking.
Have a good one and like and subscribe. Thank you.